Good evening, guys. This is Robert from Trade the Moment. It is Sunday evening. It is 7:30 Eastern Time. It is January 24th. I am going to go over some swing trade ideas. First, I want to touch base on last week. Last week, we had a couple of nice call outs. One, we had Lily last week. We were trying to buy it on a pullback, but we never did. But as you can see, Lily opened up and it gapped up from 190 when we called it out, and it gapped up and it opened at 196. Lily closed the week at 207. We said we liked it at 190, and it gapped up, like I said, Tuesday, and it just kept going. It forgot to stop. It looked phenomenal. So Lily was a position that we liked long. That was a big winner. We liked a couple of shorts for the week. One of them was City Group. We liked them short. We called it in the video. You can find that on YouTube. What can I say? This stock, we called it out at about 64, and it closed out at 61 and change. It was like 3 and change on this. It's posted in the room. It was posted. Lily, Citigroup. We also liked Pfizer if it triggered, and it did trigger. We had an entry somewhere here if it hit, and it hit it Friday and bounced back up. So this is a real good short. It took out this pivot right here at 364, so we're still short on Pfizer. We also had called out Apple and said that Apple looked very, very healthy. And on the pullback, it had 3 weeks down right here. If you look to the right, you had 3 weeks that it was down. And we said it was okay. It was very, very healthy. That it was a pullback, and it was still healthy. It was still above its 20. And sure enough, it picked up on the week about $12. And we had said in the video, it was down about $10. And it can make up $10 with no problem. So that was some of the swing ideas for last week. They were all good. Wells Fargo was another one, I believe, and Wells Fargo did okay. Wells Fargo. It opened up from the Friday of about 32 when we called it out Friday evening. Monday was a holiday. Tuesday it opened up, and then it sold off 3 straight days. So here's another trade that's green. So there was no bad trades. There was Lilly, that was a big winner. Pfizer, that was okay. It triggered and it's alive. And Wells Fargo. We also said Apple was healthy, and it did. And we touched base last week on Tesla. If you looked at it, we wanted to know what it would do. We had an inside week. Well, guess what? You have another inside week. This one more narrow range. This inside week was the prior week was 803 to 868, and we mentioned that it was a $65 week. Now this prior week that just passed, it's 828 to 859. So this is only $21 week. This bar, top of the bar, the bottom of the bar is only $21. So let's keep an eye on Tesla if it can take out the top of this bar and become a long at 859 for a trade, or if it's going to break the bottom, which I think it does. I think the stock starts to fade, but I could be wrong. I'm sure a lot of people thought it would fade right here, and it rallied. So be careful with it. It's a good conversation piece for me. I'm not going to be trading it, and if I do, it'll be off a 1 or 2 minute chart, and it'll be a quick scalp in and out. This stock you need a lot of patience for, and it can wreck your week. And I don't like stocks like this, but we are going to talk about it. People like it. It's educational too. I mean, it's got a low of the week of 828 and a high of 859. So let's move along to stocks we do like. Tech got a big pop last week. Okay, Fang was a big mover last week. Fang was up pretty much about, I think, 8% on average, led by Netflix. Netflix jumped with earnings. Netflix was up, I think, 13% or something like that, close to 13%. Okay, so Netflix brought the whole sector up, Fang. And when I say Fang, they brought Google, Facebook, Apple. So they were big movers. On average, they were up 8%. So Google was another one that had a great week. You'll see Google right here. Microsoft was good for the week. Google big on the week. 4 days from 1700 to 1900. So you got Google, you got Microsoft, you got Facebook, right here, another one, all Fang. So Netflix was a big contributor to the Qs last week. If you look at the Qs, you'll see the Qs had an outstanding week. And this was all Netflix and Fang. I think they were up 4% on the week, the Qs. And Netflix was up 13%, and Fang on average was up 8%. This week I'm going to go out a little bit on a limb here, so let's look at some shorts that I like short. I think these stocks are a little extended, and I think they're ripe for short. Facebook I like short. So Facebook is going to be a short. You have a flattish to declining 20 on the daily and on the weekly. Far away from the 200 day, and it looks like you kind of got top heavy here. This is a major resistance up here, right here. If you look at the weekly at about 293, you're 274. You hit it here about 2 months ago, and you haven't even come close. You were rejected on this week. You tried again, you couldn't take out the prior week. So you got lower highs. You get it lower high, lower high, lower high, and then you came down here, and you got that sympathy rally last week. I call it a sympathy rally because this is what Netflix did. These stocks were starting to get hit if you look at them. So I'm going to say that the Netflix wears off a little bit. And I like Microsoft short at 274.50. We'll see what it opens at, where you can get in. But this looks like a good short. This was strictly Netflix as far as I'm concerned. Let's look at the monthly. Okay, you go back 5 months ago, you made a high and you cannot take it out. You were sold off, you rallied, you never even came close. 4 months in a row. You're on your 4th month. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 from the big bar when you made your high. 5 months ago you made a high, have not come anywhere near it, pretty much making lower lows, and you got kind of flat on the 20 on the weekly, and you're above it on the daily, but it's a flat 20. So I don't like this stock above 264. So there's plenty of room for Facebook to come down. So the first call out, guys, is Facebook. Is the first call out. Let's go to this second call out. That's going to be Microsoft. Another one that had a great week last week. Another one that spiked up. Another one that made a high a long time ago. And has not on the weekly even come close to getting to the high until last week. This was getting weaker every week. It was riding its 20. It's flat to declining. It won't surprise me on the weekly if this thing breaks its weekly 20, and that's at 214.40. Stock's at 225. And if you look at it on the daily, look at this top until right here. You kind of went up all week, and then Netflix news came out, hit a high of 230, closed at 226.70. I'm looking for this stock to come back down to 214. So the second call out is going to be Microsoft. 225.95 was the close Friday. We'll see what it opens at. We'll see what you can get into. So Facebook is 1. Microsoft is 2. Let's look at some names when they get high and they get extended and they get far away from the 20. See the 20 here? How far away you are? A lot of these stocks are like that. A lot of these stocks, even Apple, which is very healthy, but look where Apple is on a 200-day moving average at $59. Okay, go to Facebook, 200-day moving average on the weekly. You're at 190. Stock is 275. Now let's look at Microsoft, another stock, 200 moving average. Where is it? 214. Where's the stock? 225. So this is the problem with these stocks. These stocks are way ahead of themselves as far as I'm concerned. Now look what happened to IBM. Way ahead of itself. See it down here on the daily? See it rally past its 20? See what happens with one piece of bad news? Right back to its 20. All that good news couldn't even take it to 200. This stock came right down, crashing right below its 200. Here's a stock that was $131.65 on the close, $132 on the high. And on the low, the next week, 117. This is a big hit. And this is when you get really extended. And I think this is what you're going to have with Facebook right now. You got the flat 20 in place on the daily and weekly. You got kind of the top down here. You got resistance not too far up. I won't be surprised we come down and we test down here. So Facebook is my first short I'm calling out. Microsoft is my second call out. Kind of getting tired. You have to go back to September. That's my second call out. My third one is Amazon. I know it sounds crazy and I can't believe I'm saying this myself. But Amazon, if you look at Amazon, Amazon's got all the makings of a stock that's getting in trouble. It's getting in trouble. They got extended here on the weekly. It made a high back here in August. Sold off right to its 20, you see? Right to its 20. And then popped from 29.20 all the way to 3,500 almost, 3,480. This was a nice pop. 4 weeks. Okay? But where did it go? Right to its 20. I know the 20 is support. Except that if you look at this a little more careful, the 20 is rolling over. You see the 20? It's starting to roll down. Okay? So I'm not going to be a bit surprised if this stock comes down and tests the low pivots here of 3,060 or 70 and maybe even come down lower than that. Okay? It's flat here on the daily and it's rolling over on the weekly. I'm going to call Amazon short. And it closed out the week at 32.92. We'll mark 32.92. We'll see what the open looks like Monday. But that's 3 call outs on the short side. Okay? And Tesla, you already know, is to be watched. Not long, not short. It needs to be watched to see what it does when you go inside 2 weeks in a row. Okay? Don't forget, look at that weekly. That monthly. That's an extended monthly. So be careful with this guy because this guy could start to fade now. That's enough. There are other names that didn't fade yet that we spoke about on the last week's swing trades. GameStop was one of them. Hell of a short squeeze. Citron came out and they attacked Citron and this is what they did with the stock. They rallied the stock for the week at 35. What was the close last week? The prior week, 35.50. Well, they rallied it to 76. Now, I said this stock is to be watched. When you have situations like this, they're tough to get in. They create big top and tails. I don't know where you can get in. But again, for fun, watch this one. Look for an entry or just chart it. This may have found the top. I don't know. It may be too soon. There were a couple other ones that we called out. I think it was... let me see, it was Plug Me, or DDD was another one that I had mentioned. Let's see, DDD is still going. So it's not, it didn't give you a red signal yet to get in. It didn't give you a big top until it did here, but there was no red. I mean, on the daily it's hard. So on the weekly or monthly, it's not ready yet. But watch these stocks. I mean, at some point they're going to do probably something like this. Going to go up, make that big top and tail, and then reverse. So I don't think GameStop is going to fall apart like that, but GameStop is obviously a short squeeze at this point. I think Angel Left called out a $20. Said it would go back down to 20. And that's what fueled this. This was throwing gasoline on the fire. So again, we'll make this as quick as possible. Facebook, short, 280. Microsoft, short. Closed out at 225.95. Short. Amazon, $3,292, a short. Some other stocks I want you to watch is GM, a short. Don't like loans this week. I don't like the market. I don't like when stocks do this. Look at this. This is a climactic move. This is 42 to 57. This is huge volume. Okay, you didn't get the top and tail on the weekly. You didn't get it on the weekly yet, but you got a signal here on the daily. So I would watch this, but I like GM short. We'll make GM as another short notation at 55.30 close. We'll see how they did, 55.30. You got Ford, its counterpart. Same thing, Ford, if you look at Ford. Ford had the same move. See the top and tail? Monday and Thursday, and then Friday closed red, but still okay on the week. Ford, okay. I just think GM is ready. Ford is getting close. I think GM is getting close. They're not saying they're 100%. Look for a signal. I would say a break on Friday's low of 54.27, which you're right near it. So keep an eye on Ford and GM. And I want to show you a couple of other stocks just in the food sector. Let's look at McDonald's, a stock that really has a lot of power, Dow component. Look at McDonald's. It made a high, and over the last 10 weeks, nothing. 3, 5, about 10, 12 weeks, nothing. It's just fading. And this is what a lot of stocks are going to get to do right now, I think, after earnings season. Earnings season now, you're in it. So when it wraps up, I think you see a lot of stocks come back down and start to get near their 200. McDonald's was one of them. Wendy's is another one. Another one that's doing it. See, made its high. Got a flat 20. Look at the daily. Selling off on the daily. Has gone nowhere. And that's what I think you're going to get. I think a lot of this move is done. Whether it be the new administration taking over, whether it be COVID. I think a lot of money is going to wait to see what happens at these levels for these stocks. You could get a good look at some names like Clorox, consumer names. They've done nothing. They've done the same thing, sideways to down. Clorox is another name that comes to mind. And these are good stocks. It's just that they've had their run already. Procter & Gamble, P&G. Another one falling apart. A little better on the weekly. 145 down to 130. You know, these stocks are down 10, 12%, and the market's at all highs. So there's a rotation going on. Tech is exploded. But I do think we go after Facebook this week, right up here. I do think we go after Microsoft. And you also have Amazon. And GM and Ford, it's a short story. We'll wait for a signal. I'm not sure if you'll get it Monday or Tuesday, but I won't be surprised if you get it this week. Guys, you'll find all these short swings in my room on Swing Trades. It's absolutely free. It's on the Discord. You can go to Trade the Moment and launch the app from there, or go to Discord and type in Trade the Moment, and you will find these under the Swing Trading. It's absolutely free for everyone to enjoy. Good luck, and I'll see you later.